All right. We're live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Annapolis Board of Appeals regular meeting for December 3rd, 2024. The meeting is being broadcast on the City of Annapolis YouTube channel. The agenda for tonight's meeting may be found on the City of Annapolis website. The agenda contains links to the YouTube channel, to the comment form if anyone needs to make comments on cases that come before the board, and to the city's database for information about the cases that you may hear about. So let me remind everyone before we start that any communications by anyone with any member of the board are prohibited unless you go through the comment form on the city's website, or if you're a party to the case, you go through the Planning and Zoning Department, our liaison, Kim Consoli. So we'll begin. I'll have to call the roll tonight since Kim is not with us. Mr. Zazali?
Here.
Mr. Walsh? Dr. Chen?
Here.
Mr. Hector?
Here.
So we have a quorum with all members present except for Mr. Walsh. The members had a chance to review the agenda for tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Any changes or additions?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Since we don't have Kim, we'll skip over the minutes until our next meeting. So the first case on the agenda tonight, and the only case, is variance 2024-012, critical area variance application by Michael Grossman, property owner, and Lisette. We'll get to who the property owners are, I'm confused. Applicant for the disturbance to slopes of 15% or greater in the critical area for the construction of a new single-family dwelling on the property located at 4 Shiley Street. Mr. Meekins, would you like to introduce the case for the city?
I would. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Meekins, Senior Planner in current planning and zoning. I will reiterate a couple things that Chairman Gallagher just said, but this is a variance for the disturbance of quite possibly man-made steep slopes in the critical area for the construction of a new single-family dwelling. Currently, the property does not have any stormwater management, and there's a proposed reduction of lot coverage. The applicant has met the requirements for posting of the property and mailing surrounding property owners, and the hearing was advertised in the Capital newspaper, so they've met all those requirements. There were no public comments received. The Critical Area Commission to date has not responded with any comments. In a nutshell, the department recommends approval with the conditions as described in this staff report. However, there's one additional provision that I failed to cover, and that is the lot consolidation of the 4 lots or partial lots and the paper right-of-way. The consolidation is actually a subdivision process which is already in progress.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I will turn it over.
This is an older house will be torn down, replaced.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the site is currently developed with a single-family house, a standalone garage, and a driveway that bisects the property.
Looking at your report and at the application, 3 names appear, and I'm not clear who's who. Mr. Grossman, Lilia Kidzer, and Lisette Groen. Can you tell us who is who?
Okay, so the property owner, Mr. Grossman, and Lilia Cassetter, sorry if I mispronounced that, that is the property owner. Representative would be Lisette. She was actually filed the application, and that is the applicant's engineer or one of them.
All right, thank you. All right, would the applicant like to be heard? Yes. All right, let me ask you first. First, you'll identify yourself for the record with your address.
I am Mark Evans from Drumlock & Associates. I'm the principal in the firm, and Lisette works underneath me.
Okay. And do you affirm, subject to the penalties for perjury, that the evidence you give will be true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right. So let me remind you that we've read the application and all the attachments to the application. We've read the staff report recommendations and all the attachments to that. We're pretty familiar with your analysis of why this complies with the variance requirements. So if you would be as brief as you can and just let us know what you think
No problem. Thank
is
you.
particularly important.
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate what Michael had said, that this property was built in 1959. This house was built in 1959. The existing steep slopes that we're discussing here tonight are basically part of when the house was graded. It's a walkout in the back, and the steep slopes along the side of the wall are just steeper than 15%, which didn't exist. Those rules didn't exist in 1959, but they do now with the critical area. We worked hard on this project to line everything up, to tear the house down, rebuild them, but we just can't tear the house down without impacting those steep slopes on the property. We are removing over 2,000 square feet of impervious. We're taking out the long driveway to the back and the detached garage. We're adding stormwater management where it doesn't exist, and we just think this is a good project, and the city agrees with how their findings in their report, and we just appreciate the effort we made with Michael, and we think we've gotten to a point where we think this is the best possible solution for this project, and if we can get the variance.
Great, thank you. Questions from the board or council? Christian? Okay. Council? Oh, well, I don't have any either, so why don't we move right into deliberations? Christian, would you like to start?
Well, I would say that the application is complete, and the 50% slope of the certain steep slope is really intended. Because we know the consequences. Oh, sorry. Thanks. We know the consequences of steep slope disturbance in the critical area, and really this is minimally necessitating compliance with the variance for that. It's a residential lot that has a swale in it that necessitated a walkout, and they're putting it back the way it was and improving the lot for impervious surface and stormwater management. I would say that keeping with the board's tradition that, leaving it better than it started is being honored here, and that I would move to approve the application and the variance.
There's a lady in the second row who has her hand up. What can we do for you, madam?
I want to make a comment.
Did you sign up on the form,
I didn't know anything about it.
on the city's website?
No. I'll keep it short.
All right, quickly.
I'm Laura Wood. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Laura Wood. I live at 220 Norwood Road in Wardour, and I am across the tracks and catty-cornered from this property. I do not really have a problem with their doing whatever they want to do, as long as it is, within proper framework. But I really do want to make a point that the city has been really negligent over decades about drainage and runoff into Shady Lake. And to back up and just give you a little background, Shady Lake was a creek. It had feeders from West Annapolis.
Okay, but to focus on this application, is there anything about this application that suggests that the applicant isn't doing everything that's required and more to protect Shady Lake?
No, but I think there's something that the city can do.
Yeah, but this isn't the place for that. You need to take that to the city council. This board has no general authority to get the city to work better on drainage problems.
Really? Because
All we
that's what
do
this is all about, this runoff and everything.
Yes, and that's what we're going to consider in this case, is whether this particular development will result in harm to waterways. That's one of the requirements that we're looking at.
Well, if I could just make a quick point, if the city would do a little bit of remedial work, and I'm talking about maybe 4 cages of stones to put on the far side, their side, of the drainage pipe. It's about a 3-foot drainage pipe that goes under the railroad tracks to Shady Lake, and it dumps everything. Everything from Shiley and Claude and Giddings and Old Crossing and Norwood, all funnel there. It is it's a body of water on life support, and something so simple that would start to help remediate the problem would be like 4 cages of stone. I'm talking like 2 by 2 by 3
Yeah.
or something.
I'm
to
sure
put
you're,
there.
I'm sure you're right, but we have no power to do anything about that. None.
So I have to go to the city council to do this.
Well, you might start several different places. You could go to the
Department of Public Works.
Public Works, the mayor's person on the environment, but I would go to your
It's very
council.
possibly that BG&E is where you're talking about. They own the right-of-way of those tracks.
They don't own the right-of-way. We authorize them to have the
They
right-of-way.
have a permanent easement, perpetual easement, which comes with some responsibility to maintain. It's a complicated, more to the point that Chairman's pointed out, we are confined in our authority to this application only.
Okay. I mean, I've had spun wheels with the city so many times over decades. It's-
You're in good company.
Keep at it. Take pictures.
So BG&E and Public Works?
Public Works
Take-
and your council person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
get down there and take a
Sorry
video
to
of
take
it
your
when it's
time.
flowing.
No,
Like
that's
when
all
it's-
right. We understand
When it's
your-
raining hard and you believe it's not.
Oh, I know
achievable.
it isn't.
Yeah, take photos.
Take video. And,
I have.
And then post it to Facebook and shame people. That would be my advice.
Oh. I don't even bother.
Yeah, right.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay,
I did not have a motion. I just had a.
yeah, you indicated you were
I did
ready.
I did make a motion. I
You
said- I recommend. I guess that's a motion.
So just-
Second.
Yeah. Motion to approve the variances for all the evidence submitted in the public record and testimony.
any more
provided here.
discussion? We have a second. Any more discussion?
No.
I just say to the applicant and to Mike, thank you. I mean, so many applications we see, the proposal is to get by staff the most you can possibly legally cram onto a lot. And those are kind of tiresome if you come to these things with the point of view that the city's got a problem and we all need to be part of the solution. And what you guys have done here, I think is terrific, working together, reducing the impervious substantially, upgrading the stormwater system. It's just terrific. It's just an exemplar of what people ought to be doing. So I would join support. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll excuse the folks on 2412. We'll close the record, mark the exhibits. We had a status conference in a State Street appeal, but the Office of Law and the parties have asked to postpone that while they see if they can work out a voluntary resolution. So it comes to our update of the board's rules. As you'll recall, the Office of Law, and I'm not sure who else, I guess the TV folks in the city, came up with some standard operating procedures that they think they can implement that would allow, under certain circumstances, remote participation by the public in remote meetings and remote participation by board members or parties under some circumstances in live meetings. And so the revisions were an attempt to conform the rules to those standard operating provisions. The amendment procedures in our current rules say the board may amend the rules at any regular or special meeting, provided that proposed amendment has been submitted in writing and has been placed on the agenda for a public hearing. Amendments to the code that relate to the board's rules shall become, upon the effective date of the corresponding ordinance, shall become effective, and the rules shall be subject to approval by the council. So the revision was proposed in writing and put up on the city's website, I think at the time of the previous meeting, so it's been up there for well over 10 days. The revision was posted, as I said. We've had no public comments on the rules. So I guess what I'm looking for is a motion to approve them again and to have them forwarded to the city council for the city council's approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there another motion, Christian?
A motion to adjourn?
Is there? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much. I think we might have set a
17
record.
minutes. Yeah, no, I think maybe. Close.
Not, we didn't.
Yeah, that might be tied, certainly near a record, if not a record. Yep.
Well, everyone have a wonderful holiday. I don't think, we